Okay, so this is my best friend Brianna, and we've been wanting to film a video for a long time, a part of this little paranormal story series that I want to do on my channel, because we grew up in Collingswood together in New Jersey, and we both have a lot of paranormal stories. Well, she said she has a little bit, but I've had a lot of experiences in her house, and her family has, and she's had a couple as well. So we kind of wanted to talk about that, and also, so the video's not too short, I have my dream journal right here that I've kept since I was a sophomore in high school, and I've had a lot of demonic dreams in the past and weird out-of-body experiences that I've written down in here, so I figured maybe I could read some of them and see if anybody else has gone through the same thing or knows what the heck they were. And of course this happened around when I was like 16, 17. It doesn't happen that much anymore, thank God, because I don't think I could deal with that, with how my anxiety is these days.
I think I have some dreams to talk about as well, because they're like creepy.
Yeah, she's had a lot of creepy dreams. Wow, I can't talk. And also, we are trying to figure out like a sitting situation because like I'm on a couch and then there's another one right here, but now she's sitting on the ottoman. But so there's like hopefully
all this space.
Hopefully, this is an okay angle and that you can like hear us well and everything. Okay, so basically, Bree lived in Collingswood in this one house her whole life until you moved.
After I graduated, yeah.
After she graduated high school, she moved. Her whole family moved out of that house. I don't know. Do you want to give a little background on like what your family experienced there? I guess.
I'm not really sure. Like if my mom went through anything, she probably did. My sister she is very sensitive, and she can pick up on a lot of stuff too. There was one time that we lived in the attic. She was coming down the stairs to go to the bathroom in like the middle of the night, and when you open the attic door, there's a mirror like right in the hallway, and she said that when she was coming down the stairs, she opened the door, looked in the mirror, and there was a man in I think a white t-shirt and I think blue overalls sitting behind her, or sitting on the step behind her with like his head in his hands. And I thought that was so strange. And also I believe my depression, it was really bad, and I feel like I picked up off of somebody in that house.
You definitely did.
Yeah.
Because of what I experienced.
Yeah, it was so bad. And like I'm empathic, but I didn't know what that was when I was like 12, 13 years old.
Yeah, we didn't even know that word existed.
Yeah, we didn't even know like what it was. All I remember is thinking like, holy crap, why do I feel this way? And why am I so sensitive to everything? There was another time that I think I was in the same room as Garrett, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then
her little brother Garrett.
Oh,
no, you're fine. Just to give a little background.
Yeah, my younger brother, we shared a room. He was a baby. So there was one time that I was like awake and he was sleeping and I was awake, and all of a sudden I heard this loud baby cry, and it sounded like it was right in front of my face, like I was holding a child up to my face and it was just screaming. So I jumped out of bed and I went to go check on him, and he was dead asleep. Like that's like the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me.
Yeah, well, you guys said that. Well, I don't know if you heard footsteps, but I think your mom said that you could hear like footsteps in the attic and nobody would be there. Like nobody would be upstairs, and you just hear somebody like walking through the attic.
Back and forth.
Yeah, just back and forth, back and forth.
Don't you start your stuff, Luna.
And what's the deal with the lady spirit in the house? Did your mom hear her? Like, do you remember who heard her? Because I heard her.
I think my mom did, because I think she was up one night watching TV, and then she like heard a woman crying, and then she turned down the TV to make sure like it wasn't that, and she kept hearing it.
Yeah, so my experience with the crying lady, I think we were in 8th grade, and there was times where like I would sleep over on school nights and we would get ready and go to school together in the morning because we were in the same grade.
Yeah.
And one night this is very hard for me to talk about this experience because this paranormal experience definitely triggered a lot of anxiety for me, and it made me rethink everything that I ever thought. Like, I had a little bit of anxiety here and there as a kid, but nothing like to this extreme after this experience. And I won't get into every little detail just because it's very personal, like what happened, but I'll just give you like the gist of it. We both decided to sleep in her living room one night, and I remember it was just like really, I felt hot in there.
Yeah.
So I think he slept on like a blow-up mattress or something on the floor, and I was sleeping on the couch. And I was already having a rough time sleeping just because the couch was kind of small and I just couldn't get comfy. And I just kind of kept tossing and turning. And I remember waking up at one point and I look over and Bree was dead asleep, and I heard her mom's TV like on in her room, which was right down the hall, and their house was small, it wasn't like huge, so I could hear it was like right there. And I'm laying there, and I just remember getting this weird feeling over me, like somebody was watching me, and I'd never gotten that before. And yeah, I've had some paranormal experiences beforehand, but nothing like this. And it definitely put me on edge. I kept feeling like there was just somebody watching me from the kitchen because the living room was like right off of the kitchen. And I remember like I kept looking behind me and the kitchen was dark, and it kept looking like there were like black shadow figures walking across the kitchen. And I'm just like, all of a sudden I just like feel this fear building up inside of me, and I wanted to wake her up, but I'm like, I can't move, like I can't talk, I can't move. Like I was so terrified of everything that was happening. And then all of a sudden I heard who I thought was her mom start crying. Like it wasn't just a like, oh, I'm upset. Like this was like wailing, like like that.
Sam's gonna come up and
I know,
like,
he's gonna be like, what
okay?
happened? But it was like that, like something bad happened. And I remember like it would be there and then it was faint, and then it would be there, and I'm like laying there with the blanket over me, sweating because I was so overheated. And I'm like, what is that? Like, and I'm thinking like, oh my god, what if it is her mom? Like, should I go and see if she's okay? Should I go check on her? And at this point, like, I did not know what time it was. It had to be like 1 or 2 a.m. Then the worst part about this is I started getting these thoughts in my head that aren't mine. They weren't mine. And it was like, this is the hard part because I know people can be judgy. And it's like, but I feel like I need to talk about it because like it's
part of the story, yeah.
Like I was getting thoughts in my head to like hurt her, and like it scared me to death because I'm like, this isn't me. Like I just was crying. And now that I'm older and I've watched like I always watch paranormal investigation videos. Now that I'm older and I understand more about demonic stuff and the paranormal, you can, if you're extremely empathic too, like me, they can like you can pick up on entities' thoughts and feelings and stuff, and I think that's exactly what was happening. But I was young, I was a kid, and I thought it was me, and that triggered severe, like that was traumatic for me. That triggered really severe anxiety, and I wouldn't talk about it. I didn't talk about it because I thought that they were gonna throw me in like a mental institution, because I'm like, I felt like I was going crazy after that. Like I remember waking up literally the next morning and having an anxiety attack, like, and from then on my anxiety progressed so bad that like I could not even go to school. And then I started having a lot more paranormal experiences at my mom's house after that. And yeah, like it's just weird that was like the start of that. And I think that's why I still deal with like being scared that I'm going crazy. Like that's part of my anxieties, and I don't know if it started with that experience. I feel like it could have, but to this day, like I can talk about it now, and yeah, it is kind of triggering for me to talk about. It does bring up anxiety, but to this day I still don't know how to move past that anxiety. I know meditation helps and like thoughts are just thoughts and you just have to let them flow by, but it's like that experience like traumatized me so bad that like, I don't know. It's just scary, like especially when you're a kid like that, like going through something like that. And then the one time, after we both moved out of Collingswood, and well, I moved out of Collingswood first after I graduated 8th grade, but I would go to her house every freaking weekend, almost every weekend and sleep over. Yeah, every weekend I was at her house. And I remember like we used to walk down Haddon Avenue and like go to Wawa and get snacks, or like take a couple laps around the park after we would go to Wawa with like hot chocolate. That was like our thing that we would do, no matter the weather. Like
Next.
We were doing it.
Yeah.
I miss those times. This one time we were getting ready to go for a walk on the Ave, and I remember it was like getting dark out, and I was standing outside of her bedroom, and I was standing outside of her bedroom. Like the quickest second, I saw what looked like a nun in the reflection in the mirror from the living room. So I'm standing here, the mirror's here in the hallway, and then you could see the kitchen off this way. Hopefully that's not like confusing, it might be. But that was like the layout. And literally, I swear the nun was wearing like red and white. I don't even know what that means. But it scared me, and I was like, there's no way I saw what I just saw. Like, there's no way. And I just remember like, I don't know, like waking up sometimes and just feeling like there was somebody watching me. But yeah, that one experience was very terrifying at her house. I don't think we ever tried to contact anybody there, did we? Not that I'm aware of. That would be
I
dumb.
don't think so.
Yeah, because we definitely didn't know what we were doing. I know one time we did play with the Ouija board on the corner of the street with our friends when we were in middle school because we thought that we didn't think anything would happen.
We thought we were cool.
Now I know that Ouija boards open up portals.
Especially and homemade ones are worse.
Yeah, and I learned that the hard way. So that was her house. And I'm sure that her sister and mom have had other experiences. I'm just not aware of them.
Yeah.
Michelle, I know you're watching this video. I love you.
Share your story, Mom.
Yeah, share your story. Michelle's her mom, so I love you. Definitely share some of your paranormal experiences. I know you remember that happening. So now I'm going to go through my journal. This might be a little traumatizing for me as well, but I'll tell you the dates and everything of these freaking dreams. So this is October 16th, 2014. I'm just gonna skip through because this was like a journal for me as well, but it was mostly like a dream journal. But so I said, on another note, things keep happening spiritually with me. When we went to Pagan Pride, my mom told, okay, no, we're not reading that part. I just want to make sure it's not about you know who.
I was just thinking
Okay.
the same thing.
Yeah. Okay, this isn't about, this is somebody from my past that I wrote a lot about in here. But anyways, I've been having terrible nightmares. For instance, the morning of Pagan Pride, which is a festival that happens at Cooper River in New Jersey, I had a dream that I was in a man's apartment. He was sitting in his kitchen at a small round table. He was staring at his fridge in front of him. There were black letter magnets. There was a lady spirit in the house communicating with him through the magnets. Her presence felt bad and unwelcoming. I'm not sure exactly what she spelled out to him, but I can't help but think that the word awakening was spelled on there at one point. I know that she told him he had to leave and that she wasn't leaving. When I woke up, I felt like I could still feel her and that someone was watching me. Next thing I know, it sounded like a woman's voice went, "Ha!" like she was amused or something. I remember that.
Ew.
Yeah. I also had a dream in the beginning of the school year that was bad. I remember being really tired and I rolled over and started drifting off to sleep. Weird thing is, I heard myself snoring, which I don't really snore, so...
Yeah.
Or maybe I just heard myself, like, heavily breathing. Then I started to not feel good. I tried to move, but everything was in slow motion. I tried to bang on the wall for help, hoping that someone would wake up, but no one would. And when my fist hit the wall, it made hardly any noise, and it was going in, like, slow motion. But it was, like, echoing when I would hit the wall. Next, I tried to yell Macy's name. Macy's my twin sister that I shared a room with. I tried to scream and nothing would come out. It's like my voice was hoarse. I managed to crawl out of bed and onto the floor. With every movement I made, it was like I was losing control of my own body. It's like I was paralyzed. It was getting hard to breathe. Since the top half of my body was going numb, I tried kicking Macy's legs with my feet. She kept kicking me away like she didn't want to be bothered. Then it felt like something kept pulling me back to my bed. It felt like there was another presence in the room with me, and it didn't feel too good. All of a sudden, my body felt like it was shutting down, and I laid down on the floor. Next thing I remember is opening my eyes and realizing it was a nightmare. I looked over towards Macy's bed, and the only thing I noticed is a few figures standing at the side of my bed watching me. I thought they were bad at first, but now I think that maybe they were guardian angels protecting me. After all, I think I had an out-of-body experience that night. That's why I was being dragged back to my bed, and my body went numb. That was one weird fucking dream.
That's so... Ugh.
Yeah. I'm just gonna blank this lady's name out for privacy purposes, but Blank said that my mom and I keep astro traveling in our dreams. She said that if I feel a presence in my room and get scared again, to turn the light on and it will go away. And I've been doing that ever since. How cliche. And that's the problem. It doesn't go away. Right now, at this very moment, I feel like there's something in here watching me. I was told to wear hematite when I go to sleep, and it would stop the astro traveling. The bad thing about that is, I lost it. I had a dream a couple of nights ago that I was walking through an old hospital. The walls were a dark blue marble, and the floors were a black marble tile. It made no sense because apparently I was walking through the hallways trying to get to class, and I kept getting lost down the same hallway. Next thing I remember about the dream is being in the main hall of the hospital. It was daytime and light was shining through the tall windows. I was with some guy, and he was telling me about 3 girls that had been murdered. Then there were 3 stretchers, and each one laid a dead little girl with a sheet over their bodies. I remember thinking, who would do such a thing, and being confused.
I'm sorry, wait, what?
Yeah. I don't know. I remember that.
I don't think I've ever heard that one.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff in here.
No thanks.
I'm trying to find more dreams. I know I have a lot of stuff. I just had a lot of weird stuff happen to me. That was a weird symbol thing. I'm not gonna get into that. People are gonna think I'm actually nuts.
There was a dream. I don't remember if it was in the Brooklyn house or in the Collingswood house. Mm-hmm. Most likely the Collingswood house. But I had a dream that it was like me, you, Ange, and my mom. Angie's my sister. And I think we were going somewhere, or like we came back in, and then like into the house.
I know what dream you're talking
because
about.
I talk about it all the time when we talk about paranormal stuff. And it's just creepy.
Okay, go ahead.
And then so like I get into the house first.
Ew.
And how my house was laid out. Like you go in through the front door, that's the living room. And then you go further back and there's the kitchen, like that's the back of the house. Obviously in between the kitchen and the living room, there's a hallway, like a straight hallway. And that leads straight ahead is to the bathroom. And then on either side of the bathroom is bedrooms. So like I got into the house first in the dream and I saw something out of the corner of my eye. So like I was running towards the kitchen. So I like kind of retrace my steps, go back and look straight into the bathroom. And then there's like this girl. It's always a girl in a Victorian nightgown, always. And she was standing there and she had long brown hair. And she was standing in the bathroom with the light on. And she just grabbed the door, screamed like a blood-curdling scream, slammed the door shut, and I ran out of the house. And I was like, Mom, we gotta go. There's something in the house. We gotta go. We just gotta go. We were like traveling all night and stuff like that. And then it was like early morning, probably like when the sun first comes up. And then I look out the window and there's like this apartment complex, and one of the lower apartments is open because somebody's moving in or moving out or whatever. And as we pass the apartment complex, the girl is standing in the door, like in the doorway.
That's scary.
Yeah.
No way.
Creepy.
Oh my God, Brie. This is the past life dream. 3/6/21. Crazy. Like, I wrote in this thing religiously. It's the only thing that kept me sane through my spiritual crap that was happening to me.
At 11:11 p.m. No.
11:11. Okay.
What
that
the heck?
name wasn't in it. Weird.
That was so
Angel numbers weren't popular like then, around that time either.
Yeah.
So they really became, like, they've always been a thing, but they really became popular with this new age spirituality group. So
there's another one that scares the crap out of me sometimes, like when I think about it. I feel like I was viewing this dream as a third person. I wasn't involved at all. It was a very old, like, I'm gonna say it was a plantation because it really was. It was a huge house somewhere down south, and
get her done.
and I can't with you.
Can't we say people from Texas are dumb? No, you can't say people from Texas are dumb. Sorry, guys. People from Texas aren't dumb. It's just SpongeBob. It's
like, if you're looking at the plantation, the left side of it was like the top couple floors were completely demolished. They fell through because of bad foundation or whatever. And a mother and her 2 sons go to like tour this plantation. And there's an old man, he's a groundskeeper or whatever, and he takes care of the house. They're taking a tour of the plantation, and they go to the side of the house that's demolished. And they're on like the 2nd or 3rd floor because they're pretty high up. Like, the mom's talking to the old man. One of the boys looks over like the edge. Oh, it gives me chills. He was looking over the edge, and it's gonna sound made up, but like, this is literally just my dream. He sees like all of these bodies, and then he like focuses on their forearms, and then as he's like freaking out, he turns around and the old man grabs him like by his arms, uses his nail to like carve something into his forearm, and then pushes him off the edge. I literally have chills. I hate that so much.
What?
It was so creepy. Like, I don't dream often, but when I dream,
freaking dream all the time.
it creeps me out because
I have chills.
I have the heebie-jeebies.
Me too. I'm scared.
Are we gonna sleep in the same room tonight? Obviously.
Yes. There's a lot of dreams I have about somebody in my past. Stuff that I would dream about that would come true, which is really weird. And I wish I could share it with you, but I'm embarrassed and I don't want to do that to the other person. Because some of this stuff is weird. Like, not a coincidence. Read the first set. Look, read this. The pink.
The pink. Sam's my husband. Sam and I were renovating an abandoned house. The house had many floors with an old staircase.
The dream.
Lots of things were still in this house. First night there, we were looking around. If this doesn't make sense, it's because I was still like half conscious.
Don't make me laugh.
Or I just slur my words. I'm not drunk, I promise. I swear to drunk, I got off the first. I'm looking at bedrooms on the 2nd floor of the house. I feel someone is following me. I see them move in the hallways. I say, Sam? No response. I continue to look around this one bedroom, and they move again in the hallway. This time I notice bright red shirt, blue jeans. Oh, bright red shirt, blue jeans, period.
Blue jeans, white shirt, walked into the room.
There have been so many times in this video where I have tried not to fucking song association everything.
Yeah, we're really bad at that.
I walk out into the hallway and across the hall in the next room. I see a boy, high school age, short brown hair, blue eyes, pale skin, red shirt, blue jeans, may have a learning disability. I don't feel frightened of him, but he was very curious of me. He was very playful while following me, jumping around, singing silly songs. I continue to search around the house and I try to look for Sam. I found Sam in the living room of the house. There is someone here with us, I say, pointing next to me. Sam looks and he is confused. Sam looks at me and says, where? The boy is moving around me very energetically and I look at him. He stops moving and I say sternly, go into the other room. 1, 2, 3. I continue to count and the boy starts frantically running into the other room. All Sam sees is the door across from us swing open into the wall behind it and close shut.
I have chills and I'm gonna cry.
don't remember writing that at all. When I was younger, I was probably like 12, 13, and I was very depressed.
Editing here. So I did want to share a lot more of my dreams, but I didn't really plan ahead when it came to making this video. This video was so spontaneous. I'd been sleeping over Bree's house. Hold on. I had been sleeping over Bree's house and I was like, you know what, let's make a video. I do have a lot more dreams in my dream journal. Unfortunately, me going through that dream journal, it was like a diary for me, so a lot of this stuff in there is like kind of triggering for me, because of like past pains and stuff like that. You know how it is as a teenager. But eventually, when I feel up to it again, I will make a part 2 and I will share more of my experiences. I have had lucid dreams. Recently I've been having lucid dreams as well. If I'm not mistaken, lucid dreams are when you know you're dreaming. And I do get a lot of spiritual messages in my dreams. Spiritual downloads as well. You can believe that if you want or not. But when it comes to my connection to the universe, I get a lot of messages in my dreams. A lot of the times healing messages. So yeah, that's that, I guess. And I hope you enjoy the rest of this video. It's very lengthy, so if you stuck around for this long, you're awesome. And give the video a thumbs up if you like it. And if you want more. I think it's fun hearing people's paranormal stories and dreams and stuff. I think a lot more of us go through them than we think, so yeah.
Depressed. My mom's sister, so what's that? My great aunt?
Yeah, I think so.
My great aunt Cindy. I'm not sure how she passed, but a lot were saying, like, you know, she, trigger warning. I was very depressed and stuff like that. I had a dream one night that I was in a park and all I could see, there was like a street light with a wooden park bench underneath of it. And so like I go to sit on that bench and I see like this bright light walking towards me. So I'm like, who is this? And I remember very... Ignore that man behind the curtain. I remember this one picture. I want to say it was from like the 60s or 70s because she had like the bangs with like the straight brown hair and she was wearing like a patterned shirt. And she sat down next to me and she basically told me that like everything's gonna be okay. She was just like, try to live to the best of your ability because everything's gonna turn out for you, basically. I woke up crying because I was just like, that means a lot coming from her. And then I think I wrote it down.
And you'd never met her before? Right?
No, she passed way before I was born.
Which is crazy.
When did Nan pass? 2021?
2019.
That long ago?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. So it says, it was nighttime and raining. I was in a park and I see a metal and wooden bench. So basically where I was before. And as I walk closer to the bench, I see a red rose. Her great-grandmother is very like, what would you say? Like that signifies her.
The rose?
Yeah.
Yeah, my nan loved roses.
I look around and see a bluish-white beam of light coming towards me. As the bright light fades, a figure appears. It's Nan. She takes my hand and sits with me on the bench. Did you get my message? Oh, pause. Because, side note, I used to live very close to where she was buried. And one day I walked up and I went to go talk to her. She didn't have a headstone or anything yet, so like, but I knew where she was, and I was just like, I was really depressed. I don't remember what exactly it was, but I just was like, I need to go talk to Nan. I need to go sit with Nan. And I was just like talking out loud, and I was like, Nan, if you can hear me, send me a sign that you're here. I was like bawling. And so there was a woman a couple like rows back from where Nan was. She was placing flowers for her deceased loved ones. And she comes up to me and she says, here honey, I think you really need this. She hands me a red rose. Do you remember that? And I hysterically call her crying, and I'm just like, you will never believe what just happened. Nan just came to say hi. And so that was the did you get my message?
It's crazy, real quick, sorry.
Yeah.
It's crazy how they communicate with you through the spirit world. Like,
It's so strange.
through other people like that, and it's just wild. Like, go ahead, sorry.
She says, well, did you get my message? She says while holding the rose. I giggle and say, yes ma'am, I did. She looks at me, smiles, and says, I want to thank you for being there for my girls. I know it's not easy for them, and that things will never be the same without me there. Just tell them that when they cry, that warm tear, I'm gonna cry. That warm tear is my kiss. When they laugh, I am there with them smiling. Please tell them that no matter where I may be, I'll always be with them. I nod with tears streaming down my face. She wipes the tears as we stand up, and she hugs me goodbye. Before disappearing into that light, she held up her famous heart to me. She always did this with the little wings. Oh!
It's okay.
I know.
I miss her so much. It is hard without her.
Yeah.
It always will be. It's so crazy because my sister Maya actually just saw her the other day in her room.
Shut up.
She saw her.
No, I didn't
Yep.
know that. How did this
And
go from being scary to like
to
sentimental?
heartfelt? I don't know, because we've had our fair share of all the experiences.
Oh, yeah.
Like, maybe not everything, but good and bad. So yeah, Nan. I love her. She's the best. Anyway, so I think we should end this video on that note because I'm now at 38 minutes of filming. So
God.
I have a lot to edit. And yeah, if you want to hear more, I'm gonna look through my journal and actually find my dreams that I was talking about. I know there's more in here. I just have to freaking read, and it's a lot of reading.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this, and leave a comment. Maybe Mom. Talking about your paranormal experiences. Even if you're from Collingswood, if you've had any weird stuff happen to you, because we have. So yeah, I will catch you in another video. Spread love and light, like I always say. And bye. Luna, say bye. Say bye, Will. Say bye. Say bye. She said bye.